What was it like today? His first address to caucus after that stunning victory. He rolled to victory. Give us a sense of what the caucus is feeling and what the message was.
Well, first of all, it's good to be back in Ottawa with the entire Conservative family. We had a great night on Saturday. It was unified, it was energized, and it was focused. Okay, unified. Talk about that, because that was not a word anyone was using for the last 7 months. People were liberals and corrupt liberals and, supporters. It was a nasty race. Now, all races are a little nasty. For sure.
I get it. Is that united now? What happened to those people who were essentially, like the Ed Fasts, who were basically dumped from their critics' role?
And look, you heard a little bit of that on Saturday night, where the leader was gracious about those who ran, those who brought their ideas for the party. The party is never worse off for more people running. And family fights are hard. And at the end of the day, like every other leadership, we have gotten together and we have put forward a conservative message for Conservatives and Canadians in this country.
Okay, let's go. The numbers are fascinating. On the plus side, Mr. Poilievre delivered massively in Quebec, which everyone thought, he can't win in Quebec. I think 6 out of the 8 ridings went to him in Quebec, or he only lost 6.
He only lost 6 ridings.
He only lost 6 in Quebec, that's right. Out of the 8 he lost. That is stunning. So on the plus side, he got wide-ranging support. Out of the 8 he lost, so it does sound like I'm nitpicking because he only lost 8, but he did lose Ottawa Centre. And that's right around here where that was sort of the heart of the trucker convoy. Is that a concerning message when we've had nanos polls that Canadians don't seem to support the idea of supporting the trucker convoy?
Look, I would look at the 330 that he won, and it is undisputable that a huge mandate. Conservatives are united behind him. I had friends on the other side. Everybody's had friends on the other side who have worked for other campaigns. And Saturday night was there was some good outreach. There was some hugs going around, and we've got a message to Canadians, and that's exactly what you're going to see.
So what's that? So I really believe, and you tell me, because I'm intrigued by this. Part of the message is on affordability and inflation. There is no doubt this has been something Mr. Poilievre has owned. It's resonated as inflation's gone to 30-year high. So on that side, that's what the Conservative brand of economic issues is, a no-brainer. I get it. It used to be the party of law and order. And seeing a whole bunch of MPs, including the interim leader and Mr. Poilievre, out there with a bunch of people who are parking their trucks illegally on Parliament Hill doesn't seem to jibe with the law and order brand. Is it still the party of law and order, or is it the party of do what you want if you don't like the government?
You're going to see a concerted message, a concerted conservative message, both on the fiscal situation and Canadians who are, a growing number of Canadians who are falling further behind. And you're also going to see the party of law and order. Violent crime has gone up under this government all over cities, and Canadians know that.
But is it a bouquet of law and order? It's law and order. We don't like certain protests. If you protest and you're with us, break the law all you want. What we are never going to see is we are never going to see a leader of the Conservative Party call those who disagree with him racists and misogynists. We are never going to other an entire group of people who have made a different choice. Okay, and I get the accusations towards Mr. Trudeau, and I want to get to his attempt to hit back. But let's just drill down on this, because I think it's important because of the polling, and now he's got to appeal to a broader range of Canadians. Does he start to drop, the trafficking and things like the World Economic Forum conspiracy stuff? And does it hurt him now to be standing with protesters who were, as you know, they're breaking the law? Doug Ford booted the anti-vaxxers out. Doug Ford did not it's not the right to protest, but the illegal occupation. Doug Ford in Ontario won a majority saying that's illegal. I'm not into that. Why is Pierre Poilievre trying to, what's his message there to law and order centrist Conservatives?
The message that Pierre delivered today was very clear. If you are a Canadian that has felt left behind by this government, if you are a Canadian that has been othered by this government, if you are somebody who can't afford to fill their gas tank with gas to go to work, who can't feed their family nutritious food, who can't afford to retire on time, or who can't afford a house in any of the cities around the country, right, there is a spot for you in the Conservative Party.
So when will we hear, for example, I get that, Canadians are living, there's a big affordability crisis. Again, undisputed. What will he say, for example, on the child benefit package, which the Liberals say, hey, we've lifted 900,000 people out of poverty, 300,000 children. This has been a big success. Is he going to keep that? Is he going to keep the child care policies? Are we going to find out about that stuff soon?
We are going to find out about that. There's a process in our party where policy goes through a number of different iterations. People have their say, and it comes out on the other end. So stay tuned for the policy. What we do know is that we have a government that flew from one fancy resort on one side of the country to another fancy resort on another side of the country, and finally talking about affordability, where a growing number of Canadians didn't hear this ever from the Prime Minister's mouth. So I'm glad that that Pierre is leading that message in the country.
I love having you here, and I'm already over time, but I got to have one more question here. I want just your reaction to the Prime Minister. It's the first time we really see him hit back, dismissing Mr. Poilievre as, you saw the clip, buzzwords, dog whistles, careless attacks. He talked about the crypto stuff. What's the response? That's the playbook they've got. What's the response?
It's the obvious playbook because they have nothing left. Canadians are going to get a message. The Canadians are going to get a message that they've got a party that is going to take care of their exact basic needs right now. They're going to have a government that works. They're going to have a place where you can get a passport, where you can travel through an airport, where you can get immigration on the phone.
But does he dump the crypto? Like, you know he's going to get creamed on this crypto stuff. Is Mr. Poilievre going to dump the crypto stuff?
Stay tuned for a policy that comes out of the party.
Okay, interesting. All right, well, look, it's day one, so you can't hold people accountable after the first day. You got to see what the substance is. Great to have you back in the studio, Melissa Lantsman. That's great, and we'll find out when the shadow cabinet is named. My money is on Melissa Lantsman being part of that again. Thank you.